This is Kozue from Healing Sanctuary.
Honestly, things haven't been going well with my partner lately, and I've been feeling pretty down. We end up fighting over small things, arguing, and I keep saying things I don't really mean, which end up hurting him.
なるほど。
I see. That sounds really tough. Actually, a lot of people come to me with similar struggles in their relationships. What many don't realize is that these issues often reflect unhealed wounds from the inner child.
So inner child issues show up in relationships too?
どこでも出ます
Yes,
ね。
absolutely. Inner child wounds can show up in all areas of life, especially in love and relationships. When you begin healing your inner child, your relationships and love life can start to shift. You can finally break free from painful patterns that keep repeating. Today, I'll share how that healing process works.
What kind of inner child wounds affect relationships?
一番はやっぱり満
The
たされて
first
いな
one
い。
is a deep sense of emotional unfulfillment. Let me give you a few examples.
まず大きいのが
One of the biggest wounds that show up is the fear of abandonment. This often stems from childhood experiences like your mom returned to work right after you were born. You were mostly raised by your grandparents. Your parents were emotionally unstable or always stressed. You rarely received emotional support or quality time. Someone important suddenly disappeared from your life. Children don't process these events the way adults do. They often feel physically and emotionally abandoned, and start to believe they aren't loved. This emotional hunger carries into adulthood and romantic relationships. For example,
ね、依存しすぎ
you become overly dependent on your partner. This is actually a subconscious reaction. You feel anxious about small things your partner says or does, worrying they might be upset with you. Or you overgive in the relationship, hoping to be needed and not left behind, but end up feeling drained.
二つ目は
The
自己
second
肯
issue is low self-worth, another wound from childhood. This can come from being criticized more than praised, or never being acknowledged at all. If your thoughts, words, or emotions were constantly dismissed, your sense of self-worth couldn't develop.
その根
Deep down, you may start to believe, I'm not someone who can be loved. That belief leads to walking on eggshells, trying not to upset your partner. Even when you want to speak up, you hold it in, out of fear of conflict. And low self-worth often attracts partners who reflect that back to you, partners who don't treat you well. It becomes a painful cycle. Because this happens on a subconscious level, healing the inner child is essential for breaking free.
三つ目
The
は
third issue is the fear of expressing emotions. If you can't express your feelings, it's hard to build a deep, healthy connection. This often comes from childhood too. Maybe when you cried or got angry, you were scolded or laughed at. So your inner child learned to prioritize your parents' moods instead of your own. You never really learned how to feel or express emotions safely. That's why, in close relationships, you may struggle with communication. You bottle things up, until one day, it explodes. Or when your partner expresses emotion, you freeze, you don't know how to respond.
そういった
All of these
こと
patterns
の
create loops that keep the relationship stuck.
イナーチャイルドってい
When
うの
your
は
inner child is wounded, it feels like there's a hole inside you.
どうしても
And
ね
naturally, you want your partner to fill it. So you depend too much on them, expecting them to complete you. As I said, these wounds really do impact romantic relationships. Let me share a few real-life stories of transformation.
例えば Y さんです
Wei-san came to me when her husband was emotionally abusive and had a drinking problem. Whenever he drank, he'd lash out with harsh words. At first, she wanted to start a therapy business just so she could leave him. But instead of focusing on him, she turned inward, healing her inner child and rebuilding her sense of self-worth. Surprisingly, her husband began to change too. He started helping around the house, and even began working on his alcohol problem. In Japan, many men still believe it's the wife's job to manage everything at home. But now, Wei-san and her husband live happily and supportively together.
で E さん
Yi-san had a pattern of always breaking up with partners at a certain point in the relationship. As soon as she started thinking, he doesn't love me, he's going to leave, or he doesn't understand me, she would end things before she could be hurt. This repeated for years. But after working on inner child healing, she broke the pattern. Now, when issues arise, she can talk openly and honestly. Instead of running away, she communicates and works through the problems. Today, she's in love, and it's a completely different experience.
で、S さん。
S-san once told me, I don't even know what love is. People say to love yourself, but I don't get it. She was always overgiving in her relationships. After doing the inner child work, she learned to care for herself first. She finally understood what love really feels like, and was able to create a more balanced, fulfilling connection. That's the power of inner child healing. It begins with changing the relationship you have with yourself. You start valuing yourself more. You stop overgiving, stop depending too much on others, and learn to manage your emotions. You're finally able to talk about how you feel, without blowing up or shutting down. And that helps break those painful patterns and start creating something healthier.
By the way, have you ever struggled in your own relationships?
そうですね。私、
Oh yes, definitely. My inner child was always trying to please my parents. So in my marriage, I believed I had to do everything myself. Grocery shopping, carrying heavy beer for my husband, buying rice, taking the kids everywhere, raising them, working, all of it. I thought that was just what a wife was supposed to do. But deep down, I was exhausted. I wasn't speaking from the heart, I was just saying what I thought my husband wanted to hear. It left me drained and powerless.
今はすごく改善。
It's completely different. My husband supports me with my YouTube work, cooks dinner, and always cheers me on. He's truly my biggest supporter. Next year will be our 30th anniversary, and I feel like we finally understand and respect each other deeply.
もちろんね、
Of course, we still have emotional ups and downs. But I now know how to navigate my emotions, and that keeps us grounded, without blame.
I really want to learn how to deal with my inner child to improve my relationship.
Great! Let me walk you through the steps to healing your inner child. The 3 steps to healing your inner child and improving relationships. Step 1, Awareness. Recognize that your current struggles in love may be rooted in childhood experiences. Understand the link. Step 2, Emotional Release. Once you see the connection, allow the suppressed feelings to surface. Try journaling, breathwork, or movement to help release frozen emotions.
3つ目は、
Step 3, Permission. Give your inner child permission to just be. Let them know it's safe to feel, to want love, and to exist exactly as they are. As the adult you are now, say, it's okay to love myself. It's okay to put myself first. It's okay to feel what I feel. Keep practicing this. When you're stuck in a painful relationship pattern, healing your inner child is the way out. You begin building a warm, trusting relationship with yourself, and from there, your relationships with others begin to shift too. Let's recap.
気づく。
Awareness. Emotional release. Giving yourself permission. Give yourself permission to come first. To feel what you feel. To build a strong bond between your adult self and your inner child. When that happens, something beautiful unfolds. You start attracting people who truly care for you. If you haven't met your soulmate yet, this healing work will guide you to someone who treats you right. And if you already have a partner, your relationship can grow naturally through your own self-healing. As you feel more whole, you can finally accept your partner for who they are too. That's how you create a mature, balanced relationship. How did that feel for you? I hope this helps you build a deeper and more fulfilling connection. Not just with your partner, but with yourself. I'll keep sharing content to support your healing and happiness.
So please subscribe and become part of this healing sanctuary. May this place bring you peace and give you hope for tomorrow.